Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside. Taking the time to be mindful. It's not the first video I've had on mindfulness, but it is a skill that I think is worth developing. It's worth acknowledging, and it's at the core of nature connection. As a certified forest therapy guide, one of the first invitations, once we get past the threshold of incorporation, the acknowledgement, land acknowledgement, and a little bit of an entry and processing opportunity to, acclimate to the environment. One of the first invitations as a guide is to invite people to participate in an exercise known as pleasures of presence. It's a meditation. It really is, and it's an exercise in mindfulness. Inviting people to participate in some sensory work with their eyes closed, right, so that they can fully and intentionally spend a couple moments listening, right, with their eyes closed. Yeah. After that, smelling, and continuing with eyes remained closed. A sense to feel the air, just slight breeze or wind moving over their body, over their skin, through their nose, through their hair, and with their eyes closed, right, the opportunity to maybe taste the wind, tongue exposed slightly, and at last, tilt their head slightly upward, use their eyes to frame, and then open and just take a couple moments and focus on that vista that's framed in, right, often upward. And then there's a chance to share, right? And the invitation is what I noticed was, and always opportunity to pass, but most people, if they're not in the practice, and most people are not, it's the overwhelming senses, the overwhelming sounds, the overwhelming smells, right? I really noticed. And after a while, for me anyway, and with the other practitioners, mindfulness finds its way into other aspects of your life, right? So I can practice mindfulness. Hey, and if you've ever driven an older vehicle, man, right? Got the radio going, something else. And if you hear something and feel something, man, you turn that radio down, you open the windows, and you're in tune. You become one with that vehicle, right? What is that, right? Something changed, something's different, right? And so then you start to zero in on what that sound or that vibration or that sensation could actually be. So yeah, right, that's being mindful, right? Good example of it might be, right? All of a sudden you just notice, you feel it. Maybe you're in line at the bank or the grocery store. Maybe you're like me, you're out in nature. Maybe you're standing on the subway platform, and you just start to notice other people and where you're at, how you're standing, right? And you become aware that, yeah, maybe I should take a step back. Maybe I should find myself close to a wall, away from certain people, right? You just have this awareness. So that's really what it's at. So it's an awareness of your body. You become in tune with your senses. So the act of mindfulness, that sensory work, what you hear, what you smell, what you feel, what you see, right, can be done very quickly. So, right, if you just have a couple moments and you're just going through it, right, just go through 5 things you see, right? Wow, different shades, different colors, textures, light, patterns, shade, movement on the wind, right? After that, let's go with 4 things you smell. Right now, right, smelling the tannins off the decomposition of the earth and leaf litter, right? Smelling the breeze coming off the lake, a little bit of fresh water smell, right? Maybe it smells that you've brought with you into the forest. So try and tilt your head up a little bit. Whenever I watch my dog sniff the air, I try and do the same. I don't have the same sense of smell, but yeah, it's there, right? And after that, you want to go with 3 things you hear. Morning like this, it's bird song. Could be the wind off the lake. It might be the sudden snap in the environment around you, and that'll give me cause to turn and look in that direction, right? Something's moving, something other than myself and the dog, right? Becoming aware of where I am and the effects of my presence in nature. After that, find two things you feel. And maybe that is, the air passing around. Maybe it's that sense of calm. Maybe it's, do a little how you feel internally yourself, right? What are my thoughts? What are my emotions? Right? Am I okay? Can I be better? Right? And after that, the one thing you're actually feeling, right? Or so one thing you're grateful for is what I like to say if you're doing it quickly, right? So, yeah, the mindfulness is a relatively new buzzword. All right, we're finding it elsewhere, but simply put, being present, right now, what's happening around me, right? Using all my senses. Quick check in with your own body. Quick check in with your environment, right? It's an awareness. So mindfulness, being present, being aware, right? So if it's not a common practice, and you do make a point of participating in mindfulness activities, going through sensory work as part of your nature connection, your time outside, it will find its way into other aspects of your life, and you will start to notice and become aware of your presence, right? And how you are perceived when around others, right? So what's your body language? What's your tone? What's your energy, right? Can I change that? Can I use that to give off another impression, right? I don't want to look like a victim when I'm out in public, right? So change the way I stand, change the way I dress, change how I'm carrying those things that are on me, right? And if I'm in a situation that might invite a courageous conversation, can I project calm? Can I project empathy, understanding, kindness, right? So is it my tone? Is it my posture, right? Can I get at their level? Dealing with a smaller person, I'll sit, kneel, squat, right? Invite a perception that is required to fit the situation, because I'm being present and aware and mindful of others, mindful of myself, all right? And I see the difference, right? As a certified guide, I watch the change in body language, right? Often people are coming because they're looking for another avenue or aspect of want and need for change and how they manage stress, trauma, anxiety, depression, how to manage, misguided energy and cortisol production, right? Their own place in nature, right? And I see it with kids with ADHD, right? You can just watch their body language. You can watch someone with anxiety, right? How they hold themselves. And after a half hour, after 2 hours, 3 hours, they hold themselves very differently, a little more relaxed, a little more aware of themselves, more comfortable in their own skin. So that all comes with being in tune, being aware, being present, being mindful. So it is a skill, and a skill is something that needs to be practiced. So find ways to be mindful. And if being out in nature is where you start and the vehicle for the practice, it will find its way into other aspects of your life, and that skill will serve you well. So go outside, be mindful of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Be mindful of the perception and the aura and the energy you're giving off. All right, use that. So thank you for watching. Thanks for taking the time to support me and what it is I believe in, healing power of nature. So go out, be mindful, be aware, be immersed. All right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.